Hi, welcome to Math 87, Lesson 123. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the Pythagorean theorem. The longest side of a right triangle is called the hypotenuse. Every right triangle has a property that makes the right triangle a very important triangle in mathematics. The area of the square drawn on the hypotenuse on the right triangle equals the sum of the area of the squares drawn on the other two sides. So the area of this square equals the sum of these two squares. The triangle on the left is a right triangle. On the right, we have drawn squares on the sides of the triangle. The area of the squares drawn on the sides are 9 and 16 and 25. Now we notice that the area of the largest square equals the sum of the areas of the other two squares. So as you see, 25 equals 16 plus 9. The property of the right triangles was known to the Egyptians as early as 2000 BC, but it is named for a Greek who lived about 650 BC. The Greek's name was Pythagoras, and the property was called the Pythagorean theorem. Now, the Greeks are so proud of this mathematician that they have issued a postage stamp that illustrates the theorem. Now, if you want to look at that in your book, on page 573, there's a picture of that postage stamp. To solve problems that require the use of Pythagorean theorem, we will sketch a right triangle and draw the squares on each side. So I've sketched a triangle that is 6 centimeters by 8 centimeters with side C unknown. But using the Pythagorean theorem, we can find out what C is. We find the area of this square. We see that the area of 6 centimeters, 6 times 6 is 36. And then we find the area of this square, which we see is 64. Now, we know that 36 plus 64 is going to equal 100. So, C squared equals 100. So we know that C equals 10. Let's try another example. Here again, we have a triangle we have the hypotenuse in this one. So the dimensions of the triangle are 13, 12, and A. Now we copy the triangle and we draw a square on each side. The area of the largest square is 13 by 13, which is 169. The area of the second largest square is 12 by 12, which is 144. Now, we can use that information to find out A. We know that A squared plus 144 will equal 169. So we first write out our equation. A squared plus 144 equals 169. We subtract 144 from both sides. We find that A squared equals 25, or A equals 5. So we go back to our triangle and we can write in that A equals 5. Now, if you're given this triangle right up here, we have, and you're told to find the perimeter of this triangle in centimeters, you can use the Pythagorean theorem. First, sketch it out. Draw your squares on each side. We know this square, 4 times 4 equals 16. 3 times 3 equals 9. And using the Pythagorean theorem, we know that the sum of these two sides will equal this square. So we have 16 plus 9 equals c squared. So 16 plus 9 equals 25. C squared equals 25. C equals 5. The perimeter is 4 centimeters plus 3 centimeters plus 5 centimeters. So the perimeter equals 12 centimeters. If we go back here and we put 5 here, we add those together, we see 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. So we can see that the perimeter does equal 12 centimeters. You do have a couple of practice problems. I will put the answers to the practice problems in Canvas. I would encourage you to go ahead and do those 2 practice problems. There is only 2 of them. And then go ahead and do your lesson.